Thank you, AC. Appreciate everybody being here. It's a huge game. I told our team yesterday, if you're a baseball player or if you ever played baseball, it's like a one-game playoff. So both of us are fighting to get bowl eligible. And Old Dominion's coming off 3 straight wins. They had a good come from behind win Saturday against Rice. So their quarterback is playing really well. He's a runner. They run the zone read really well. He can beat you with his feet. He's getting better throwing the ball each week. So he's a dangerous player. Their back, Lowry, is back and running really well. They got a really, really good defensive line. Might be one of the best defensive lines we've seen in this conference this year. They're really good up front, and then they're doing a really nice job. The linebackers can run. They've got good speed there at the linebacker position, and this is a good football team. They're kind of hitting their stride a little bit here the last 3 weeks. I know they'll come in here with a lot of confidence with winning 3 straight games. So we got to be ready to roll. And I think our team's got a good attitude. They understand what's at stake. And we got to rebound emotionally and mentally from last week's game, physically, and get ready to play this game. And there's a lot on the line, and looking forward to playing it. So I'll open it up to you guys.
Coach, start with the seniors. Obviously a big senior day for them. What has this senior class meant to this year's team and to the program as a whole?
Well, there's a lot of, good players in that senior class, guys that have played a lot of games. Obviously there's a couple of them, 3, I think 4, that have been here 5 years. A couple have been here 4 years, then a couple junior college guys. So it's a small class. Numbers-wise, but all those guys are going to leave here with their degree. They're going to leave here if we can get this one Friday night, the Shane or Saturday, the Shanes, Connor Trent, Lucas Hamilton, those guys that have been here 5 years, they can leave and say they were bowl eligible their entire career, and that's hard to do, especially, with everything they've gone through. So really proud of them. I appreciate everything they've done and given to this program, to this university.
The guys kind of seemed, after the game on Saturday, seemed a little emotionally drained for Friday. Just in terms of rebounding, how they fared so far from such a game that went back and forth and was really took a heavy toll emotionally.
Yeah, it was a very emotional game, and you think about you compete for 4 hours as hard as you can, and we played extremely hard. We left everything on that field. There wasn't one player that held an ounce back. So they competed their tails off. They played extremely hard, and you do that for 4 hours, and then you get beat at the buzzer. 3 overtimes. It's hard to, for anybody, but especially for young people to flush it. You guys want to talk to them 5 minutes later, and that's hard. That's hard for people to do. And, so yeah, it was emotional. It was a very emotional game. It was a physical game. And, Saturday was their day off, and then we came back yesterday and met and practiced, and, I think it was good. Obviously there's still going to be some lingering effects on Sunday because you got to watch the film, you got to talk about it again, so that brings back, your thoughts on the game. But once we got out there at practice and we started moving around, I thought they responded really well. Today's their day off, and we'll get back tomorrow. But I don't have any doubts that this team will be ready to play Saturday afternoon.
And you look around the conference, I think this is one way or the other, whatever happens on Saturday, it's going to be a record year for Conference USA teams as far as them earning bowl eligibility. I think it'll be 8 or 9 after this weekend. Have you kind of looked at where you'll stack up if you do get a 6th win, just with, as far as actually, getting a bowl?
Well, I mean, there's 8 teams that are bowl eligible right now, and then our game and La Tech is playing for bowl eligibility, so there's a possibility that you're going to get 10 teams. I said at the beginning of the year that this was a very balanced conference. It's a very competitive conference. Us and San Antonio are the only 2 teams in this conference that, got Power 5 wins. We played an extremely tough schedule. I told you guys that at the beginning. But to look at the big picture, the national picture of it, I think I haven't gone that far yet to look at it because, I can't control what's going to happen with La Tech and San Antonio or whoever's playing. So I'm just focused on this one, but I feel very confident that, the winner of this game is going to get in a bowl game. Yes, sir.
And Tavares has obviously been banged up. How's he looking for this weekend?
Well, it's way too early to say that. He couldn't finish the game, and he wasn't able to go yesterday. So I really can't give you an answer, right now.
Okay. How's Terrell West sort of come along?
He was better. I think he's getting a little bit more confident each week. He was better against Western Kentucky than he'd been in the previous games. So I think he's getting a little bit better. I still don't think he's, back to where he was, but he's better than what he was last week.
Coach, coming off of the short week, now you guys go in, you have an extra day off. Going up against a team that's so evenly matched against you like this, how important is it to be able to have that extra day off preparation-wise?
Well, obviously it's good. It's we didn't do anything with the players on Saturday because that's their day off. You're not allowed to do anything with them. So it'll be good for the players to have an extra day to get their legs, get some, after 11 games, get a little bit, another day of rest. We worked yesterday and they got today off. So I think it'll help, from a preparation standpoint for coaches. Obviously you got an extra day, so that'll help a little bit there. But I think probably the big thing is coming off a short week and now playing on a traditional Saturday, that it'll help the players a little bit who might have a little bump or bruise.
And then they start out 2-0, drop 6 in a row. Now they've won 3 in a row. Going against one of these never say die type teams, in your experience, what's the toughest thing to do to try to halt that momentum that they've got going?
Well, I mean, it's to do that, you got to do yourself. And we got to prepare, we got to work, we got to play, they made a quarterback change there in the middle of the year, and, they've had some people hurt also. And they got, a little bit of juice going now, but so do we. And, we've played, we didn't play as good as we would have liked to play against Western, but, we're a hungry team. And this team is, like I said, if you watch that film, you watch it on TV, you watch it in person, those guys laid it on the line. They played their tails off. And, and now they know they got something at stake. There was something at stake last week. But, this is your last chance to accomplish one of your goals. And, so our guys will be ready. But it's about us. It's about us executing better and doing the things that we can control. And I know you guys hear that from coaches all the time, but that's what it is. We got to, when you got a chance to make a play, you got to make the play.
When you have seniors playing what could be their final game and a team playing for a bowl spot, do you feel like you can maybe get something more out of them than you could mid-October?
No, these guys, I can't ask anything more of this team or those seniors. They've given everything they've had every game, and this team has fought through a bunch, and they continue to do that. So it'll be, special for them. It's their last regular season college game, and so that'll be, special to them. But, they're not going to play harder this game than they did against Western Kentucky, or they're not going to play harder this game than they did against Syracuse, because they played extremely hard all year.
Do you feel anything different with seniors on their last week, or with what could be their last week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, you watch these guys, they come to you as 18-year-old kids, young men, and now you're sending them off 5 years later, 4 years later with their degree, and now they're men ready to take on this world. And, there's a sense of pride that I have that I've watched them make mistakes and overcome them, learn from them, do good things in this community, do good things on the football field, and just grow personally. And, so there's I have a lot of admiration and a lot of respect for those guys, of what they've gone through and what they've done and what they've sacrificed. So yeah, it's always an emotional, you hate to say goodbye to some of these guys.
You said you feel like the winner of this game will make it to a bowl game. Are you fearful maybe the conference will have one, maybe two teams that reach the 6-win mark that don't make it to a bowl game?
I'm not, because, there's other conferences that aren't going to fulfill all their spots. So there's going to be other bowl opportunities that aren't just Conference USA tie-ins, that are, SEC. There's going to be some other conferences that don't fill all their slots. So no, I'm extremely confident that whoever wins this game will be going to a bowl game in December.
You feel like every bowl eligible team in Conference USA can get a spot?
Yeah, I mean, there's only, our game and La Tech and La Tech's got to win. They're going to get bowl, then they'll get bowl eligible. The winner of our game is going to get bowl eligible. So yes, I do.
Coach, ODU features one of the better returners in the conference. What are you guys going to have to do to slow him down?
Well, we've done a really nice job this year. Our kickoff coverage has done a really nice job, and he's a really dynamic player. He's had a 100-yard return, and he's special. He's a good player, but we're kicking really well. Rook's kicked the ball good, and we've covered well. So that you got to make sure you're doing what you're coached to do. You got to stay in your lanes, and you got to defeat the block on the proper shoulder and the proper side, and do your job. So if we'll do that, I think we'll be successful. But he's really good.
Rick, is there a teaching lesson here for you that you can take advantage of about overcoming adversity and still reaching a goal? Something that you wouldn't be able to teach these kids if you ran the table and won every game this year.
Yeah, that's the thing about college football, and I don't know how many people realize this, but you field a different team every week. Every week you're putting a different team out there because of injuries, and that's what we've had to do. And you're going to get knocked down in life. You're going to have there's going to be times where you might not be able to pay your light bill, or you're going to get fired from a job, or you're not going to be able to find a job, and there's going to be tough times. And I think football, especially football, teaches you more life lessons than any class you can take, any other sport you play, just because of the physicality of it, the toughness of it, the amount of people that are involved in a team, how many, basketball's dependent on 5 guys, baseball's just dependent on 9 guys. You're dependent on 22 guys, and then 33 when you throw in special teams and all. There's so many people involved in a football game that it takes a team, and you field a different one every week, and this team has shown a lot of resiliency. Guys that have played through injuries, when people have told them not to play, but they continue to play. So they'll learn. Everybody learns. I learn. You learn through every year. Every week is a learning experience for you that you can teach these guys something that'll probably is going to happen to them, later in life. And you look at it, we got beaten triple overtime. They may go fight for this sale for 3 months, and at the last second, the guy says, "No, I'm going to go with this guy." And you get all that work, everything you did, all the effort to get that sale, and you didn't get it. So you got knocked down. So now you got to be man enough to pick yourself up and try to go get the next one. And so I think these guys, I'm proud of them. I know it's been, it's been very difficult. It's been a difficult year for a lot of them, but I'm really proud of them.
Would you say this is your most challenging year due to injuries?
Yeah, I thought last year, I said it to somebody, a coach, either last week or the week before we were talking, and, I thought last year with the amount of injuries we had was the worst it had ever been. When you lose 5 wide receivers to basically, after the first game, then you lose your quarterback, and then this year it's just been, it started, we lost a starting lineman in August, then we lost a starting running back, then we lost Brent, then we lost Richie, and we lost Shane for a game. We just lost so many guys throughout the course of the year. It's been tough. So not looking at it, but I would probably say, yeah, I don't know if I've ever had a year where we've had this many injuries to critical position guys.
Does any senior stand out when you flash back to their freshman year, first time they stepped on campus, how far they've come physically in the weight room or mentally, emotionally, just being more mature? Any anecdotes step in your mind?
I guess one that really stands out, that's really good, is Shane Tucker, because his freshman year, we were going to redshirt him, and we got to the 8th game against UAB, and we were down 3 running backs. We lost 1 the week before, then we lost 2 in that game, and I went to him on the sideline and I said, "I'm gonna do what you want to do," and I said, I hate to burn your red shirt year, but we need you, and then that was right at the end of the half, and then I talked to him a little bit more at halftime, and he never hesitated. Whatever I have to do to help this team, and so he played and really played well the second half, and then those last couple games of the year, he was a really productive player for us. And then the next year, he played and had a good year. Then the next year, he got hurt. He missed 4, 5, 6 games, and then we moved him to wide receiver, and he gets hurt. Last year, breaks his leg, and now you see him come back, and he missed a game or 2 this year. But how much he's gone through and sacrificed for this team and this university, and I hate to just talk about one guy, but that's the one that stands out the most.